There's a lot of questions on the veterinary services program for large animals in particular.
We're going a step behind as opposed to being in a leadership position that we are in now.
If I'm living in Woodstock, I would be scared to death that if I have a sick animal, do I put it in the trailer? Can I put it in the trailer and drive it to Prince Edward Island, or drive it to Sussex or St. John where there is a large animal clinic? This is not a dog or a cat that you can put in the back seat.
It leaves a huge gap. As far as the lab is concerned, there's certifications that no other lab has. This isn't an analytical lab, it's a diagnostic lab. I can't begin to say how much the loss of this will impact veterinary medicine. If we look at a disease identification, if we look at any one of a number of epidemics that could go through this province undetected, this lab is vital.
And as a New Brunswicker, that worries me for my safety and of our own public safety, and then of course our complete herd health. And that has to be paramount for anyone that's a farmer or just a New Brunswicker, that taking care of disease and taking care of our herd should be first and foremost.
Tell us, there's been quite a storm that has brewed since last week's announcement of the government's decision. Can you give us an update of what's, I guess first off, why this decision was made? Let's start with that first.
Well, so this transition, as you say, it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, we're taking a measured approach here to allow time for all our provincial veterinarians and industry and other stakeholders to adapt. So, service is still available. There's no change today, and it's going to take, we're going to, as we get down the road, and we'll make sure that this is done in a timely fashion.
Oftentimes, we've seen it time and time again, that when governments come out and make these statements without revealing a plan or trying to develop a plan with the stakeholders, individuals that are in the system, like in this case, veterinarians, they just start looking for other regions to go to work in.
When you're told you're no longer wanted or needed, it's a hell of an adjustment.
Right.
And again, these people work hard.
It's a transition period that's going to take some time. We want to make sure we get it right, because as some of the older politicians, you would know that this is no longer sustainable.
But they haven't consulted, so how sound is your material when you haven't spoken to the people that are truly in that area? I'm not going to speak for the cows and the other departments. I can speak for horses. But when you want to make a sound plan, do you not think you need to bring the diverse community to the table first? And then how can... Again, we all want to work with them, but again, my deadline of December to me is creeping quite quickly.
From an animal welfare standpoint, an animal health standpoint, it's a heck of a gap to fill.
So it's quite a disadvantage for rural New Brunswick, for farms that are further away than where the veterinarians would be. So where is the trust going to be there to provide the public health and provide service in the future, or oversight even?
Yeah, they've lost my trust. I mean, the fact that they never called and said, listen, we need your help.
Right.
Come to the table and help. Right away, I'd be going, okay, this guy wants to work with us. But right now, I find them very negligent, and I'm just... it exasperated.
It was a tough decision to announce to them, and I know for them, it's a game changer. It's a life changer for some of them, and that's why we want to make sure that we follow with them as they transition, if they wish, to the private model. And we're going to do, all we can to support them in that. And we're confident that at the end that we'll all be in a better place and deliver a better service.
There's going to be some gaps. It's much like other parts of Canada, like in Walkerton, Ontario, when they privatized the water treatment, and it didn't get announced, the contamination, and that the E. coli break. So if the $5 million is going to save, what are the risks that we're going to have all of this opening with millions of dollars of lawsuits or whatever? sure. I'm just afraid there's too many gaps to take care of New Brunswick as a whole.
So there's about $4 million in revenues. So that leaves roughly close to $4 million. That's a yearly deficit for operating that expense. And I agree with you that even the large animals, they would pay for service, but it's still it is subsidized by the province to a point. So we do not make a profit. We actually it is a deficit. And that's why it is not sustainable. That's one of the reasons why it's not sustainable.
And we would like to pay our fair share to keep this service available in a very unique part of Canada called New Brunswick. And I'm tired of asking or being said it's running across Canada, and why can't we do it? And I think that we're an individual province, they've been said, a drive-through province. We have some challenges, and we need to get programs that work for our province, and stop telling me about the rest of Canada. I'm not really interested.
So,
and really as well on to the organizations, I say again, to band together. Don't wait for the government or the department to bring everyone around the table.
Right.
Get around the table and be a strong voice and a unified voice.
We knew that this was going to be loud, but I think as we let people know what we're doing, cut through all the social media posts that come up with all kinds of stories about we're cutting everything and there's not going to be a lab and animals will die and suffer.
Well, I think, Minister, that's what happens when you just make the announcement and
no details.
Don't give the people the details.
These animals, who's going to look after them?